available tonight.
Is he going to start?
No.
Just because of the minutes limitation?
That, and I think also the number of, how much time he's missed. You know, we'll see kind of after this game. I think we got a couple days. We can see if he can get back. But, you know, I was hopeful that maybe possibly he could get back to playing yesterday, but just wasn't feeling right. So I just don't know, you know, I'll have to see how he looks here first and just try to get him in there and see, you know, how he responds. Obviously, he feels good enough to play.
Did Alex get treatment today, or what?
Yeah, he was back there. They worked on him. I think this is something that's happened to him. It's more kind of his tailbone. I think the way he landed. He feels, when I spoke to him last night after the game, after I met with you guys, I talked to him for a bit. He, you know, he felt like in a couple days he'd be okay.
Wow.
Now, I don't know. I think most of those guys are pretty optimistic, but we'll see when we get back.
We talked to you about Patrick Williams, and you've said that when Javonte is 100% healthy and minutes are back, you want to see what that starting group looks like. What does Patrick have to do to get back in that starting lineup, or is it more predicated on what that starting lineup does, you know, start off games, start off third quarters, and even if Patrick is playing well, if that group's functioning, it is what it is. You want to keep that group together.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's necessarily anything that Patrick has or has not done as much as it's about how do you kind of get combinations of players out there that are functioning really, really well. Clearly, I think there's been some inconsistencies in both units, you know, the starters at times and also the second unit. So we're just really trying to switch things up more to try to get some more consistency, you know, from the first 6 minutes in the game till the last 6 minutes of the quarter going into that second unit. So, you know, we may end up getting to a situation, to be quite honest, where, you know, we feel like that's the best thing for our team, Patrick, there. You know, it's not like, hey, he isn't playing well, he doesn't function well with that team. It's just, or that group, I should say. It's just more like we were struggling with consistency at that point in time. So when we put Javonte in there, I wanted to see what it looked like because, you know, again, you know, I think we had just throughout the course of 48 minutes, we just weren't playing well enough. And it's not necessarily one person or anything that he's done wrong or, you know, he's being singled out. I get it, but we just need all of our guys to function and play at a good level. And I think Patrick's done. I think he's played well. And if, to be honest with you, we may put Javonte back in there, and it may say, you know what, we need to go back with Patrick. So it's just more the combination of the guys.
Is Alex? I mean, you talk about impacting the game other than in scoring, and you look at, I mean, his plus minus. I think for most of the years led the team. I believe it still does.
Yep.
Is he the perfect example of doing all the little things that impact winning and doing little things that lead to those plus minus and the group functioning well when he's out there?
Yeah, I think that there's a perfect example of a guy that, you know, doesn't need to score a lot of points to impact a stat sheet or impact the game. You know, it reminds me, obviously, of different players, but when I had Andre Robertson at OKC, he was a great compliment to Serge Ibaka and Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook because he just never really scored, was an opportunistic cutter, occasionally takes some corner threes, lockdown defender, impacted a game with his activities, offensive rebounding, his steals, covering up for guys, putting his body in plays. And, you know, I think Alex is smart enough. I think when he looks at the group, I think he always looks at it through the lens, okay, how can I help the group function well? And what can I do to impact the group positively? And, you know, he's an elite defender. He's not afraid, as you mentioned, to put his body in plays. So, yeah, I mean, he's as good as anybody I've been around. You know, when you look at the stat sheet and you look at points or shots attempted, and you say, geez, this guy's fingerprints were all over the game with the way he played.
Coach, based on last night, the box score, is there one specific stat that stands out when you were able to examine what your club did last night when you said, wow, this is something we can really build on?
Yeah, I mean, we shot the ball well, and I think for a good portion this year, we probably have not shot at the level that some of these guys would normally have shot. I know Zach's coming back, trying to find his rhythm. We've changed some things up offensively. I think the biggest thing is just the ball movement and trying to generate assists, and I know sometimes the assist part can be a little bit misleading, as I said last night, because I think sometimes the assists are only basically happen if the ball goes in the basket, but if we can help each other and be a team that's got multiple guys, you know, in double figures where everybody's contributing, I think that's the best recipe for this group.
And did your path ever cross with Paul Silas?
Yeah, a little bit through Mo Cheeks. It did, Paul used to come in when we played at Charlotte all the time. He'd come in and stop in and say hello and tell some more stories. I mean, just a great guy. Got a chance to know Steven some as well. Been around the game for a long, long time. I wasn't close to him at all, but did have a chance to meet him several times after some of our games in Charlotte, and it was just a great person, and enjoyed hearing his time in the NBA and things that he was a part of.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay, thank you.